Today's video is going to be touring our Brinkley. This is our home away from home. So if you saw our announcement video, we purchased a Brinkley back in October of 2024. That's when we drove up to Omaha, Nebraska and picked up our Brinkley. We did a quick shakedown while we were there in Omaha for a few days and then bringing it back home. And then we did some other short camping trips, either 2 days or 5 days trips, just to make sure everything was good before we made our big trip out to the Northwest. So today I just want to walk you through, show you the Brinkley. Let's walk around and I'll show you the interior, and then I'm going to walk around the outside and show you the exterior, and I'm going to show you some of the upgrades we did to our rig as well. Okay, so the Z3100 is a rear living design, and so it does have two recliners, and they are heated, so the heating controls is right there on the side, and then it has a center area for remotes and just storage area, and then it also has a phone charging port. All of the shades in here, they do have day and night shades, so you can raise them up for the day shades, and then your night shades come down. There is a lot of storage in here, so it's all over, a lot of overhead storage. And then the rear living, you have the couch here at the very back end. It does have little storage benches there on the side, so those lids flip up and allow storage inside of there. And then also, a neat feature is back here. These flip up and you have power, and you also have USB ports there for charging devices. The couch itself does fold out, so you can make this into a bed. And it also has an ottoman here that is, you can move that around, and this lid does flip up and make into a table as well. Okay, moving more over to the kitchen side, this also does come with a fireplace, so that is right there, and then above that is the TV. The really neat feature here is this TV is on a televator, so when you go to travel, the TV can be brought down into the cabinet behind the fireplace for traveling, but also if you need the extra counter space, you can lower the TV down and have the extra countertop there as well. Moving on into the kitchen, it does have a oven and a stove top and has a microwave up above, and then it does have a kitchen island. So as you can see here, you got your sink with your faucet, and then down below you've got cabinets for storage. You got drawers there, and then over here you've got trash with dual trash cans, and then also an area here for your paper towel, and then any other storage that you have there. Okay, so as we go through the kitchen, we also have a full-size fridge, and this fridge is 12 volt, so it can run on your batteries, but it is a side-by-side, so you have freezer and refrigerator on each side. It has a nice big pantry, so with some good heavy-duty shelves, but has room for everything that you need to be able to store in there. And then also we have more cabinet. This is more like our coffee bar, so I have my coffee maker set up, with some extra storage here and another counter. Okay, so this is the dining area. They call it a dinesk, so it's more of it can be a workstation, which is what I really use it for most often. This is where I do all of my video editing. I'm currently working on getting videos and pictures uploaded for our next video. And then the desk can actually come out and be a big dining table. So you can open this up to make it more of a dining table if you need it. And the also really neat feature is this table can move side to side. So we currently have it in the farthest right position, but the table can be moved into the center position if you want seating on both sides of the table, or you can move the table all the way down to the left side, and if you want it in an L-shaped that way. So it's really set up to whatever works best for you. And then this table can also, for travel purposes and for what we do, we normally keep it rolled up, and this works great for us and what we do. Okay, so from the front entry, you know, this is the look of the living and dining and kitchen area. Brinkley does a fantastic job, I think, in their fit and finish. I think that's what really one of the big things that drew me to Brinkley. You know, when you look at their trim work, you don't see any staples, you don't see any putty, anything like that. And then also when you look up at the seams, their seams are very, very tight. So they don't really have to put any trim work up there to hide any imperfections. So they really take, in my opinion, they take their time making sure that this trailer is put together very well. And a lot of the things that they do in their construction just shows that they try to make a really nice trailer. Okay, so coming from the living area, going up into the bathroom and bedroom area, you have 2 steps there that you have to go through, and then you go into the bathroom. It is very nice, very spacious compared to other RVs that we have owned in the past. The shower is very large. I can stand up in the shower completely and not feel like, you know, my head is up in the dome with some of the other showers that we've had. Sliding glass doors, storage on the side, you know, solid surface countertops in the bathroom and in the kitchen. So again, very nice setup. They also use the max air vents, so we have one in the bathroom and one in the kitchen, so those are very nice to have as well. And moving into the bedroom, the bedroom has its own AC unit and controls right there on the wall. And then this is a king size bed, which they call an RV king, so not the same as what you would have in your home. But this slide comes all the way in, so for traveling, the bed does come up and touch into the front of the cabinets here, which is nice because it does help the drawers from opening up. But Brinkley does use very heavy-duty magnets on everything, and so we have not really had any issues with drawers coming open during travel. So you do have a closet here in the front, so there's a lot of room down below. We put all of our shoes in there, got ample storage for all our hanging clothes, and so we have that divided where I have half, Linda has half. You do have windows on each side. There's charging ports and lamps on each side of the bed there as well. this trailer does come prepped for a washer and dryer, and they fit right here in these cabinets. So you can take out these shelves that are in here and put in a stackable washer and dryer. We've opted not to do that, and we just use laundromats, but so that it just gives us more storage. And I have my clothes up top, Linda has some storage down below, and then I carry other tools and items in the very bottom. And then there's storage for like hats or other items there you may need. And then up front here, it does have a TV for the bedroom, and then you have more drawer space here if you need that. Okay, so part of the things that really drew me to Brinkley, and we really looked at 3 different brands is what it kind of boiled down to, that was in the price range we were searching for and wanting to keep it at. And as we got a little further into the details, looking at plumbing and fittings and fit and finish, and frames and what they were built on and how they were built, it really, you know, came down to Brinkley was the only choice. So at that point, once we kind of decided that, yeah, Brinkley was it, then the thing was is we wanted to go actually see one, put our hands on one, you know, really look in all the compartments, go through the inside. And so we did have a local dealer that did have a Z31 on the lot. So we did drop by and take a look at it. And that really pretty much finalized our decision. After going through and looking at it, we could see just the amount of detail that they put into these trailers, into making sure that everything is done right. Okay, so have we had some issues with our Brinkley? Yeah, we've had some issues. You know, on our trip, we actually had some screws come loose that got under the slide and damaged the flooring. So we don't have that fixed yet, but we have got the approval from Brinkley to move forward with the repairs, and they're going to cover all of that. So that's going to get taken care of here at the end of July. When we get back to Houston, we're going to have a mobile tech come out and take care of that for us. Has there been other issues? Sure. One of the things that we wanted to do before we made our trip was put disc brakes on the Brinkley. So the Brinkley comes with drum brakes. And we had heard and read a lot of postings online about grease seals leaking and coating the inside of the brakes and the drums and losing a lot of braking power. And a lot of the things I read was people were saying that was happening around 5,000 miles. Well, we were going to be hitting that 5,000 mile mark while we were on our Northwest trip. So we opted to go ahead and do the disc brake upgrade before we actually left home to make this trip. So one thing that I found out when I pulled the first drum off to put the disc brakes on, the first seal was already starting to leak and coat inside the drum. So so I was glad we went ahead and made that change. And being up here, going through Colorado, into Montana and Idaho, I'm thankful that we did, because when you're coming through these mountain passes, you want as much braking and stopping power as you can get. So disc brakes were definitely a great upgrade for us. Not to say that's for everybody, but for us in our situation, I was glad we did it. Okay, another upgrade that we did was we wanted to not say boondock for 10 or 14 days, but we did want to boondock in certain areas, and maybe for a night or two. So the ability to be able to stay in a parking lot or at a harvest host or something like that overnight was important to us. So we started researching and looking into doing a inverter install with solar and lithium battery upgrade. And so I'm going to take you outside here in a minute and I'll show you what we ended up doing there. And I'll also walk you through the outside of the trailer and just show you the storage options that are on this Z3100, and just kind of how the outside of it looks. Okay, so this is the outside. This is the campsite of the Z3100. It does have two awnings on the outside of it, but today the winds have been pretty rough, so I'm not really putting the awnings all the way out. So this here is your pass-through big storage, and as you can see, we're loaded down. But you know, one thing that you notice is an air compressor. I carry a full blown 110 air compressor. I can actually plug it into the side compartment over here, and that way I've got enough air pressure to air up tires on the truck and the RV if I need to. So I carry a lot of different things with us. We've got propane, lighter fluid, window cleaner, just so I can keep the windows on the outside clean. I use a LevelMate Pro Plus as another option for leveling the RV. And inside of here, there's also another bay you can get access to. Back behind there, that's where all of your electrical connections are at, and access into venting and different things like that. One thing that I do also mount back here is I mount my Starlink behind here. So I've got that on a wall mount, and my router and power supply are linked in here. And then that is my network cable going out to my satellite. So I can run that actually through the bottom of the floor, so that way I can keep my compartment door closed up. I do have mounting brackets in here, so I've got my fishing rods, flagpole, all mounted on the front half there, and then all of our tools and things we need for travel are here. It does have two 30-pound bottles, and then as we come across, this is where we park our bikes. We like to keep them under the front cab. That way it just protects them if a little rain shower or storm comes up. And then we can also keep them locked down to the front jacks as well. Okay, so here is our next upgrade. So we ended up going with the Epoch or Epoch lithium batteries. That is two 460 amp hour lithium batteries, and then we went with the Victron system. So we have a Lynx Distributor, we have the Multiplus II 3000, which is for 50 amps. So let me get this out of the way. That's my fishing gear. So this here is set up for 50 amps, and then I also have a solar charge controller that I'll replace the Furrion controller and put the Victron system in. I do have a solar disconnect switch there as well, and then I have my Cerbo GX up there. So this Multiplus is tied in to the 50 amp circuit. So I ran another connection to tie in for the 50 amp. The Brinkley does come what they call inverter prep, and so that is the inverter prep right up there in that box. But that is only to a sub panel of items in the trailer. It will not run the entire trailer on the inverter that you would put in for that. So I opted just to bypass that, and we wired in straight through the 50 amp service, so that way whenever I unplug, I can run everything in the RV with this inverter setup. So I can run both AC units, I can run the heater if I choose to, I can run the fireplace if I choose to, and all of that is running off of 920 amp hours of lithium battery. So on the roof, I did put a second solar panel in, and so I've got about 720 watts of solar on the roof, but that is not near enough to recharge the batteries in a single day if I really bring them down. If they're at like 75%, I can, on a good sunny day, I can get them back to 100 before, you know, we need them for the night. But if we bring them down much more than that, then the 720 watts of solar is just not enough to recharge those batteries. You may be thinking, you know, yeah, that's a lot of stuff there to do, and it is. But if you take your time and do your research, I mean, it is something that you can do yourself. I've seen a lot of people take them in to people to have this work done, but it probably took me about a month and a half from researching it, making sure that I had all the right components and set up right, to ordering everything, to getting it in, and then doing the work. So you know, I wasn't in any rush. I had time to do it, and it is something that can be done. So I don't know how much I saved by doing it myself. I'm thinking I saved myself quite a bit of money in doing that. So if you're a little bit handy, you can do this. Okay, and going back to the disc brake upgrade, so once you go to disc brakes, it's not electric, they are hydraulic over electric. So what you have is a hydraulic actuator, and so that has to be mounted in the RV, and I mounted mine up front here as well in the compartment, since I had plenty of room to do that. And it just made for a pretty simple installation, as far as all of my wiring is up here, and you know, running the brake lines was not a major issue. So so the brake lines all ran back up front, tied into the hydraulic actuator, and then I wired in to the pin box, which is right up here, into that box. And that box is where I ran the wires for the actuator, so that if the trailer was to disconnect, the emergency brake kicks in and locks the brakes, and then also it ties into my 7-way pin connector and controls the brakes and my brake controller. So it was a pretty straightforward install, pretty simple to do, nothing major. And I'll show you, this is the D-Max actuator that came with my kit, and it just uses the .4 hydraulic fluid there, brake fluid, and so I just keep spare with me in case I need to add more into that. The other thing here that you may see on this and wondering what that is, my Z3100 came with hydraulics, so the slides and the jacks are all hydraulically driven, so all those lines are going out to those particular items. I think in some of the early Z3100 models, they were all electric, so you had electric jacks and electric slides. So not sure. To me, I mean, it's worked well. I've had no issues with it. I know there's pros and cons over both. So, so far for us, the hydraulic has been great. You know, on the opposite side here, they do have, this is all of your water control hookups, electrical. So here, I've got all of my main water hookup connections. I carry them all in a container here. You got the Nautilus system here that is all of your tie-ins, controls. You got your gray and black water valves there. You've got your water control system here for if you're going to be on filling your tank, dry camping, city water. You control everything through this platform. Also the Lippert system here for leveling, that's what's there. So it does have features for auto leveling, which I haven't found to be all of that great, that it does a good job leveling the trailer without bringing the tires up off of the ground. So I do mainly all of my leveling with the manual controls, just so I can make sure it's right. Okay, and then going around to the back of the trailer, we have our bike rack set up on here. It does come already mounted with a receiver hitch, and so we put our bike rack on here. This here is a Hollywood rack. It is rated for fifth wheels. I ended up having to go to this one because the other one I had was not fifth wheel rated, and it's been good. I don't really have any issues with it. The downside is the way it is mounted. It is so close that I can't get to the cargo compartment without taking the bikes off, and you have to lift the rack forward to have the door clear and then open up the door. So but there is a nice bit of storage back here. I keep mainly all of our bike gear back here. I do keep a ladder in here if I need to get up, you know, to clean slides or do any work or maintenance on the trailer. But for the most part, I use this for our bike storage. Okay, so that's pretty much our setup right now. So hopefully you enjoyed that, and if you have any questions on any of the upgrades that we've done, or anything on the trailer that I can answer, feel free, comment below, let us know. You know, we haven't been in the trailer a huge amount, but we're hoping to change that. We're hoping to be on the road more, even if it's just for short trips. We are, you know, a few weeks into our journey to the northwest, out to Idaho. That's where we're currently at now, is in Idaho, in Coeur d'Alene, and we'll be journeying back south in the next couple of days. We will be headed back to Utah to stay around the Moab area, and then from there we'll be headed back down through New Mexico for a couple of stays there, and then back into Texas. So I hope you stay tuned. Keep checking out our videos. And yeah, let us know if there's anything else you got questions on.